Hey, good morning everybody, and welcome to the vlog. I hope the start of your day is truly incredible. I'm actually going to get my day started with feeding my little baby emerald tree boa. It's absolutely adorable. So I thought out a little pinky here. We're going to go ahead and just feed this little monkey right here. Come on. Come on, little monkey. Come on. There it is. There she took it. All right, just took a little bit. Sometimes you have to tease these guys a little bit as babies, but that thing is absolutely incredible. I love little baby emeralds. And again, you know, it's cool that they have that red coloration as a baby, and then obviously go through that octogenic change, and then turn into a beautiful green color as they get older. So we have a lot going on today, and actually Bruce is going to be bringing in a snake that is going to be pretty cool. I think he's bringing it in for Eric, ironically enough. So we're going to have a chance to not only mess with the snake, but also talk about how that could pertain to the future of the Reptarium. And of course, Ivy messed up her water pretty good again, so this seems to be a daily task, that's for sure. It's just about that big meal. Once she gets all of that waste out, she'll go a week or two where we'll hardly have to do any maintenance. But in the meantime, every single day I've had to drain her water, get in there and clean it. So just one more task for the day, but that's okay. I love that animal and she's completely worth it. Oh, and by the way, let's just push our problems aside and have a great day together. This is pretty interesting. Of course, our giant leaf-tailed geckos, the Europlanty fimbriatus, is starting to shed, and that's how a gecko actually sheds. It's almost like a piece of clothing is coming off like that. And interesting enough, geckos like this will actually eat their shed. That's how they do it. So I'm sure there's probably some nutritional value there. I'm not 100% sure why they do it, but it's pretty interesting. And I just caught her in the act of shedding now. Here in the next probably half hour or so, that'll all be gone and she'll have ingested it, which is pretty cool. And look at those eyeballs. Holy moly. Alright, so I found a clutch of eggs for the day. We're still keeping one clutch of eggs a day at least, which is always nice. Again, like I had mentioned before, we're probably going to be getting multiple clutches. There's going to be days where we have 8, 9, 10 clutches, but this is actually a pastel female, so let's just go ahead and take her down and we'll take a look and see what she's got. Woo! Look at that clutch. Whoa, mama. Whoa, she almost got me in the face there. I was so excited about the eggs, I forgot. Whoa, it's okay, mama. So let's go ahead and get this clutch of eggs. Wow, that is a beautiful clutch of eggs right there. Before we pull that female's clutch, I actually wanted to show you the male. This is actually a super enchi pinstripe. So the way that works, because it's the super version of an incomplete dominant enchi, all of the babies are going to come out enchi, every single one of them in the clutch. And then they're going to be pinstripes, there's going to be pastels, there's going to be all kinds of different stuff like that. So pretty cool. Beautiful male. Not one of the highest end clutches I'm producing this year, but nevertheless, beautiful babies should be coming from this girl. Let's go ahead and pull those eggs. And back to my mama, who is really fired up. She is a good mom. Mom, you're being a great mama. I know. I'm sorry, girl. It's okay, baby. It's all right. It's okay. Calm down. But look at this clutch of eggs right there. I love it when they lay them real flat like that. It's okay. Come on, mama. Come on. Stay over here. I'm going to slowly try to get these eggs away right here. Hopefully mama, oh, she's protecting good. I'm gonna have to put mama aside for a minute so I can get these eggs out of here. All right, so now we have a little piece. Poor mama was certainly excited. And what'll happen is we'll actually clean this enclosure out so there's no like smell of eggs or anything like that. And that'll calm her down tremendously. Sometimes we'll even put them in a little bit of a bath with a drop of liquid soap actually. And it just gets all the smell of egg off. It just resets them from being that maternal kind of, you know, protective animal into actually calming down. And then hopefully we can get her onto food in the next week or so, and she'll be back and rebound. But this is a beautiful clutch. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 eggs. I mean, 9 eggs, and she's not that big of a girl, so that was a beautiful clutch. And again, it's not a super exciting potential clutch, but still some really gorgeous babies coming out of here, because again, everything should be enchi. We could have pastels, we could have super pastel enchis, we could have super pastel lemon blast, we could have super pastel enchi lemon blast. So there's a lot of really cool stuff that can come out. And with 9 eggs, we have some pretty good odds. So hey, I'll take that every day of the week. Guys, take a look at this. This is a true treat. Of course, Bruce brought this in for us to kind of take a look at. This is actually an eastern copperhead. And interestingly enough, I hate to say it, but when I was 17 years old, my first venomous snake that I ever owned was a little copperhead. I've just always loved these guys. There's just something about how absolutely beautiful they are. And these guys, these broad-banded easterns, are just absolutely ridiculous. Of course, these guys are venomous, but they're not like super toxic or anything like that. I mean, more or less, what you have, a little hemotoxin and a cytotoxin there, typically relatively mild bites. I mean, you still don't want to get bit by something like this, obviously. They're very fast. They're a front-fang viper, obviously, and it's definitely a bite that you don't want to take, especially in these times. So I'm not going to take any risk whatsoever, because I certainly don't want to go to the hospital in these times, that's for sure. But nevertheless, most people just have some swelling, sometimes some necrosis, and more or less, they're pretty good animals. Really, these guys are relatively docile too. They don't strike a whole lot, so there's not as many bites, but again, something you want to stay away from. And they're an ambush hunter, and that's where most of the bites come from, to be honest with you, is one of two things. Either someone is walking on a hiking trail and this guy just blends into the leaves like you can't imagine, and they accidentally step on it and get bit. The other way is obviously with people that are actually handling the animal, right? And that's what happens a lot, is that people want to pick something up like this and then they ended up getting tagged, and something that you definitely don't want to do. Again, you'll have some swelling, some necrosis. Some people can have a little bit worse reaction, and that's the thing, is you never know when you're going to be allergic to an animal. So the best thing to do is just not get bitten, right? So I've been messing with venomous snakes my whole life, and I hope that I never get tagged by one. That's for darn sure. But nevertheless, copperheads are unbelievable, beautiful animals. I love these guys to death. Of course, they're live-bearing snakes too, so it's pretty cool. Could you imagine seeing just a little baby copperhead out there in the wild? Really cool. So I can't thank Bruce enough for coming and bringing this guy in. It's been an absolute pleasure to see how gorgeous it is. And like I've been mentioning, Reptarium 3.0 is coming. As a matter of fact, if you haven't seen it, I'll put a card right up here. You can click on it. That's the future plan. So I've been kind of talking about how I really wouldn't mind having a venomous section in 3.0. And I understand there's some pitfalls to that. You know, I mean, obviously, we've got to make sure that we have a protocol where no one will get hurt. Not only the crew, but people and so on like that. And by the way, he's looking absolutely incredible this morning. And, you know, just how will that go? I'm not 100% sure. I know Lori's completely opposed to it, and I do have to respect that with her. I mean, if she wasn't 100% on board, I wouldn't do it. But I would love to have some venomous snake. I've always wanted a king cobra. A cool king cobra display, kind of like Lucy's enclosure here, but for a king cobra would be ridiculous. Like a real showpiece for a king cobra, or maybe even like Ivy's enclosure, you know, have that the showpiece. I'm not sure. I think it would be amazing, but I do understand that there are some kind of dangers to that. You know, we don't ever want anyone in the crew, and certainly anyone else, to ever get hurt. So just something to kind of think of. Will I do it? I don't know. I've always loved venomous snakes. I've been working with venomous snakes since I was young, obviously, on and off, and I would love that, and I think it would be a really cool kind of addition to the Reptarium. That being said, we are kind of a hands-on zoo, right? So we want people to be able to hold everything. You can't hold any venomous snakes. We would never take any venomous snakes out because we wouldn't want to endanger people. So it may not fit into what we're trying to do here or not. It's just food for thought. I'll put it in the back burner. Think about it. When we get into actually the 3.0 expansion, we can look at it and see if there's a way that we can work it out or not. I don't know what I'm going to do. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. But again, number one, I have to always respect Lori's decision. If she wasn't on board, it would not happen. But hey, I can still dream, right?
Well, you guys are following the process of breeding season this year, and we've hit a milestone, and that is we've got sheds to where they've got the first lay boxes in. So I have checked today, and we don't have any eggs, but I have a feeling this girl might be our first. Mexican Black Kings a lot of times are one of the first to go ahead and go into their pre-lay sheds. So she's getting nice and comfy in her box. The way that we put our lay boxes together is we use a sphagnum moss, and we get it nice and damp, not soaking wet, but just damp enough to keep the eggs moist. We got a little hole in the lid so they can come and go as they please. It also helps keep it moist and gives them a nice little hiding spot to go ahead and go hide their eggs. We'll check it every day, and probably within the next 7 days, we should have eggs.
Pretty cool. Now that Salt and Pepper's enclosure is so clear, you can see the bottom really good. And the reason I say that is, guess what we found in the bottom? little teeth from Salt and Pepper. I don't know which one it is, Salt or Pepper's teeth, but it's pretty cool, you know. Now, alligators actually shed their teeth all the time. And an alligator can literally sometimes go through a couple thousand teeth in its entire life, so it's really common for them to shed them. But sure enough, we just saw down the bottom little white specks on the floor and got them out, and they're little tiny teeth. I mean, look how absolutely cute they are. I think I might do like a little piece of jewelry or something like that encapsulating these guys, because that's absolutely adorable. But again, it doesn't hurt them at all. I mean, they grow back and stuff like that, completely common. So nevertheless, Salt and Pepper are absolutely fantastic. Loving this enclosure, and now that it's clear, maybe we'll find a bunch of teeth over the next several months. Still been doing daily virtual tours. I mean, every day, 7 days a week I do them, so it's been amazing. Thank you for everyone that has joined me on them. It's been great just to keep me busy and keep me able to show off animals. If you guys are interested, I'll put a link in the description. Again, we've been crushing it on them, and I really appreciate everyone that's done them. Jessica, what do we got going on?
I got some Crested Gecko eggs.
Oh my God.
These two.
So who is this?
This is Snickers, and then Rowan.
Oh, that's super cute. All right.
I'm excited about his babies. I haven't had any of these guys hatch out yet.
Okay.
But he's a whiteout pinstripe, so he's one of the nicer ones we've got.
Awesome. Let's see what we got. Hopefully he's got some good eggs here. Oh yeah, they look good already.
Yeah,
Yep,
they're nice and white.
Nice and white.
Awesome.
That's awesome. We're actually doing pretty good with Crested Geckos this year, aren't we?
Yeah, we have a ton of them right now. I just didn't need them to grow a little bit. We could sell them all.
Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't even know we were going to have very many Crested Geckos. It seems like we have a ton of eggs, so that's
They're
awesome.
kind of like the leopard geckos where they just produce and produce.
Yeah. That's awesome. How long do they take to incubate typically?
These guys closer to 70, 80 days.
Oh, so good.
But they could be a little bit less. It just depends on
the temperature. Gotcha.
Yep.
All right, cool. So, well, these guys are beautiful. Here in a couple months, we'll have some more babies. It's been a minute since I fed my girl Bella a banana. Bells, you want to eat, girl? Come on, girl. You want a banana? You want a banana? There you go, sweetheart. There you go. There you go, honey. Oh, you're a banana monster. Bella always loves her bananas. 3 bites, that's what she usually does. 1 more bite, maybe. And she's usually done. We'll see if she takes a 4th, but again, so many of these reptiles are so predictable with the way they are. We'll see what she does, but I have a feeling that she's going to finish this bite and then she's going to be done. Belle, do you want any more? You all done? It's bizarre. I mean, you don't think of reptiles as being like creatures of habit, but it's weird how Lucy always crawls up into her tree. Bella always eats 3 bites and that's it, and then she wants pets afterwards. So there you guys have it. I know it's been a while since I fed my banana monster or anything, so she's absolutely adorable. I can't wait for the day that this place is full of people again, and I know that it'll happen eventually, but I am definitely really missing it today. If you guys want to go back and see how we built this whole place, here's a playlist of building the Reptarium. You can also listen to my podcast Checking In right over here, or listen to it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, whatever the case is. You can subscribe to this vlog channel right over here. I appreciate your guys' support. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. Remember, be kind to someone, and I promise I'll see you guys tomorrow.